So after the fall, and after Satan deceived Adam and Eve, they realized straight away that they were naked. And they made for themselves clothing of fig leaves. They sewed them together. Now that's a strange thing, because everybody knows that fig leaves are not particularly very strong. And it's certainly impossible to sew them together. And it will never work as clothes. So what does that mean? How is such a thing possible? Well, we've learned previously that the fig tree represents the flesh. It represents us. So we know it's got something to do with flesh. But why clothing? Why is it important for them to have clothing, and what does it mean to be naked? Well, it represents the fact that they had no righteousness of their own. Clothing always represents righteousness in the Word. Let's look at a few examples. We can read in Job 29 verse 14, where it says, I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. My justice was like a robe and a turban. Revelation 19 verse 8, we read, and to her it was granted to be arrayed with fine linen, clean and bright. For the fine linen is the righteous acts of the saints. Isaiah 61 verse 10, we read, I will greatly rejoice in the Lord. My soul shall be joyful in my God. For he has clothed me with the garments of salvation, and he has covered me with a robe of righteousness. As a bridegroom decks himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorns herself with jewels. Another place in Isaiah we read and we hear that all our righteousness were as filthy rags. Again, making the point that righteousness represents our clothes. If we have righteousness, we are clothed. If we have no righteousness, we are naked before God and everyone else. This is why they realized that they were naked. They had no righteousness of their own. What did they do? What was their response? They started to get fleshly righteousness. They thought they can have righteousness in the flesh, self-righteousness, own righteousness. But it was not sufficient. So that is the meaning of the fig leaves. What is fig leaves? Fleshly righteousness. And they tried to clothe themselves with fleshly and self-righteousness. And that would never work. That's why they ended up hiding themselves in amongst the trees.